YouTubers. Well, today I'm going to open these up for you and show you the internals. I've done the unboxing videos. Set this all up. I love this thing so far. I got to get it out and really bash it pretty hard. As you can see, I just kind of taped my sensor wire to the bottom here of the mounting plate. That way when I screw it into the chassis, it just stays out of the way. I don't want it to get hurt or anything, so anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, and I will take the shroud off and show you what it looks like. Because the fan and stuff, the way it's set up on this thing is fairly interesting. You can see it's inset into the heatsink. So the fan actually sits flush to the top of this aluminum heatsink, so it sits down inside of it. Works really well for cooling. Anyway, I'll take this off and show you the internals. First of all, here, before I take all the stuff off, I just thought I'd show you, give you a quick once around. So you have the dedicated fan port here, which powers the fan. It's just a 2-pin plug. Then you have your programming port, which is there. It's a 3-pin plug. Works really well if you like to run like I do. I have a Bluetooth module which you can plug in there, and the programming card. Now, one thing I like about this is, well, first off, okay, you got 4 Allen's, 4 2mm hexes to hold the top case down. The screws aren't in the fan, which I like, which is different than the Hobby Wing. And also the mounting plate on the bottom. Look at that, 4 screws, 1 in each corner, and there's actually a little spot in the chassis, or in the, yeah, for those screws to go. So, a little bit better than just having the 2. Personally, I think that's a very nice design. I wish they were Phillips screws, but that's easily rectified if I go buy some. So I always shrink tube everything. I don't know, I'm kind of particular when it comes to that. So I actually had to just drill this case out a little bit bigger to accept my shrink tube. I don't know, I don't understand why people like to have their posts all like that. I just personally don't like it. So that's my solution. Shrink tube. And this stuff here, you can see there's kind of glue on the top. It's got adhesive in it. It's actually a pretty cool shrink tube, but let's see if I can find you a piece to show you. Well, it would appear I've used it all, so I don't have any. But basically, it feels really thick. But once you heat it up, the glue melts, and then its regular thickness, the glue kind of oozes out from the outside, and it actually stays wherever you put it. When you heat up the glue, you can kind of slide it around too. I know a lot of guys, when they're racing, they like to hardline their motor wires right to the motor, and it's a good idea. Basically, they're soldered in. You can't pull the wire out. For me, I like to be able to take everything apart and swap it around if I need to, or if I say I have a motor go, I don't have to, at the race, try and solder everything. I can just throw that motor in, change the, throw the, plug in the bullets, mount it up, and I'm done. So what I actually do is I have this glue shrink tube. So I just throw a piece over here, and during the race, I actually shrink tube them together. And wow, you can't pull them apart. The glue is so strong, like you cannot pull the 2 leads apart, no matter what. So you're no truck pulling them out in a collision. And then afterwards, you just take a blade, just slice down. They all pop off, and then you can pull your motor out. So for normal bashing and stuff, obviously you don't need that. But guys will say they get tangled up with another truck, and they will somehow pull one of their motor leads out, or their battery terminals. That's another thing I do. I'll strap the battery together. But anyway, moving on, I'll take the shroud off and show you the guts here. One thing I just want to mention here is static. Basically, I pulled the 4 screws now from the top here. Now this bottom plate will just kind of pop off. Electrostatic discharge, or like I have a little strap that I ground out. Basically it'll stop me from basically a little static bolt off your hand. Basically you walk off your carpet, your sock feet, you come in here and then you pull this off and you grab the circuit board to pull it apart while you've just statically charged one of the chips in here. I've done this before to a computer, and you'll fry the chip. Basically as soon as you fire it up, boom, it doesn't take much of a static discharge to ruin stuff. So keep that in mind. I ground myself out, and then it's got a little strap, or else you can just can find another way just to ground yourself. It's really simple. Okay, so first things first, this is the bottom case, right? Basically, you can just slide that off. The whole thing pops out like so, and here you go. Sorry, I kind of pulled that apart a little bit, but there's two. You can see these two. I gotta clip that together. There's one on that side, another on that side. That's what clips the two levels of the boards together. In the case, it's all tight, but it's a pretty nice unit, to be honest. It's quality built. You look at the solder terminals, and everything looks quality made. So I'll pull the top off here now and show you the heatsink. Okay, and the shrink tube that I've placed on mine kind of makes it hard for me to lift this top plate up, but yours will probably be a lot easier. So there you can see the fan, the heatsink itself. It's got these fins that pop up, and the fan just sits right inside that, and it's screwed down by itself, so the fan's secured independently of everything else. I think it's a pretty efficient design. It's got rubber boots around the outside, so when it goes in the case, it keeps dust and stuff from transferring to the bottom level. So there's the cast, 25 volt. So that's 5S, 6S, I don't know, 680, so you got what, 1360 farads worth of capacitance. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it. I don't want to pull the levels apart and show you the other. Well, do you really want to see it? Okay, I'll show you. Okay, what everybody wants to see, I guess, the FETs. There's the MOSFETs. Get you a nice close-up shot. Try to anyway. Personally, I find it works really well. It's got fairly good linearity features and whatnot. Feels quality made. Like I said, it's a 6-ounce or 6-layer 4-ounce PCB board. Most PCB boards are only 1 ounce, so it's got 4 times more copper in the core, which is used to conduct electricity throughout. So there you go, that's the FETs. And here's the other half of the board. Like how they got the glue on top of the solder terminals there, stop corrosion. So overall, a quality built machine for 60-some bucks. So now you just got to make sure your pins are all straight and everything when you pop it back together. And that's basically it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I will put it all back together, put it back in the truck. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions or comments, you can feel free to leave them below, and I will be happy to help you out. Thanks again for watching.